See, there's so many people just like myself who were never exposed to the information so that they too can make sound financial decisions.
Without financial literacy, our next generation will be left behind.
We've not been able to keep our dollars in our community. We've not known where to put our money to gain growth, protection, or to create wealth.
There was nothing that my parents were going to be able to leave us. It's important to me and to my community because in the Black community, no one is receiving inheritance from their parents. And we have to change that.
Financial.
In the Black community, financial literacy is very important. See, there's so many people just like myself who were never exposed to the information so that they too can make sound financial decisions.
Without financial literacy, our next generation will be left behind.
We've not been able to keep our dollars in our communities. We've not known where to put our money to gain growth, protection, or to create wealth.
There was nothing that my parents were going to be able to leave us. It's important to me and to my community because in the Black community, no one is receiving inheritance from their parents. And we have to change that.
Financial literacy is the gateway to freedom. It is the gateway to helping to leave a legacy for my family.
And it does not depend on who I am as far as a race, being a woman, or anything of that matter. All it takes is someone who has a willing mindset. So I'm just so grateful to have a platform in my life that gives me not only a system to follow, but also a lifestyle that I can live, that I can enjoy, and I can pass down to the next generation.
What I want to do through WSB and through the financial literacy platform is take that out into our communities to help our Black families understand and know that they too have hope to build a solid, firm financial foundation.
Even though I made good money, nobody educated me how to save money. I spent everything I made. I lived ghetto families in our Black community. What I've learned now here with World Financial Group is some concepts to help me learn how to save money. And that's what we need. Our Black lives matter here, and especially during this time, but it won't matter unless we are financially educated.
We can be empowered so that we can literally transition from where we are today to where we dream of being for ourselves, but for also our people.
Being financially free means that I'm not a slave to debt. I'm not a slave to emergencies. I'm not a slave to even my business. I control my time and I work on myself, and it allows me to be 100% there for people when they need me.
Financial literacy is the way that we in the Black community will be able to bridge the economic gap and begin to pass down generational blessings instead of generational burdens.
Because of this campaign, my kids now understand finance. I find that quite powerful, and that's something that campaign can do for you and your family as well.
Being legacy-minded, having a sense of urgency for the now, and transparency in our community is the key.
It's time that we really take a deeper look on how we can change the world as a whole for every community. Everyone deserves financial education.
We need to learn more about finance. We need to understand some basic principles of how to build wealth.
And we want to be able to leave a legacy for our children and our children's children. And how can we do that? By being able to join this platform and learn from this platform and apply it to our family and our lives.
Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Can someone do a quick check and see if we are still streaming live on Facebook? And for those of you that are following me on IG, let's do a quick check. Someone hop over and see if we're also streaming live on IG as well, because this information is very powerful that everyone needs to know. So can someone confirm, just put in the chat if we are streaming live on Facebook. Okay, I just see that we went live on IG. Can someone confirm? Okay, let me see if I can do it here.
Join this platform and learn from
Okay,
this
so I
platform
guess
and
we
apply it to
can.
our family and our lives.
Awesome. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. So we are still live there as well. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Super duper excited. What an amazing day to be alive in 2021. We made it. COVID did not get us. And for some of us, if it got us and we're still here, God is good. So my name is Odetta King. I am a senior marketing director with World Financial Group. Truly, truly, truly blessed for this opportunity that was given to me 3 years ago when someone in my college by the name of Angel showed up, right? Because for some of you who may or may not know me, I'm also a professor. I teach at two, one at university and one at college here in New York. And every semester, we would bring back students who graduated from the program to talk about how has college prepared them, right? So Angel showed up, did not know him. He did his thing along with 5 other hospitality students who graduated from the program. And right after that, you know, like everything else, it was a mix and mingle where we're socializing and chit-chatting and finger food because it was a reception afterwards. So he said to me, what else do you do besides teaching? Which was because, you know, here in New York, a lot of us have multiple jobs. How many of you have multiple jobs? If you have more than one job, put a chat in the comment. Right? So I don't know why he said, what else do you do besides teaching? Long story short, I told him I'm always on social media teaching people about finance, telling them how to stack their coins. And he's like, really? Like, listen, talk about alignment, right? I don't know this guy from nowhere. He asked me what I do. It just so happened that what I told him I do on my fun part-time spare time was exactly what he was giving me the opportunity. So he lent me, actually he gifted me this book called Saving Your Future. If you do not have a copy of this book, yes, I'm talking to you guys, the whole world out there. If you do not have a copy of Saving Your Future, make sure you get in touch with a person who invited you, or make sure you get in touch with me or whoever's going to share you this video, whenever that is, you're going to watch it, right? And get hold of it. It's 86 pages. It's not long. It's not cumbersome. It's a simple, easy, light read. And really and truly, when you understand these basic financial concepts, you're going to have a better sense of what's going on with your money. So he invited me to a seminar. And back then we didn't do a lot of live streaming like today. We're able to live stream and pretty much anyone outside of New York can see what we're doing, right? So he invited me to a workshop at Mercy College in the Bronx. I'm like, whoa, I don't even go to the Bronx. If you live in New York, you know, we kind of stay in our boroughs. But anyway, I decided to check it out. And holy moly, I got there. And some of the concept that was shared that I'm about to touch on today, I had never even heard about it. And I graduated from NYU, never sat in a finance class, never was educated about money, even though they taught us to get a career and go make money, but they never taught us how to grow, keep, and protect that money. So here I am in Mercy College, and I'm watching these things on the slide, and I'm like, Odetta, you are dumb. Like, you're supposed to be a professor, you're a corporate 6-figure hotel. How could you not know these things? And it quickly hit me that if I don't know it, imagine how many other people don't even know it either. So I did not think about it twice. My educator hat came on. I said, you know what? I got to learn this stuff. I got to learn this stuff to save myself first, save my immediate circle, my family, my friends, my parents, my niece, my nephew, and then of course, tell the world about it. right? So some of you might be here for the first time. Some of you might have heard this before. Guess what? If you've never heard it, you're probably not going to hear it, because we are the only company that are pretty much campaigning and pushing financial education. Financial education, because so many of us, we go to a job and they tell us, go to school, get a good job, sign up for your 401k, and you're going to be okay. Well, look at the people who have done it and are retired, and let's ask ourselves, are they okay? Is your mom and dad okay? The people who did exactly what they're telling us to do, right? Go to school, get a good job, sign up for a 401k, invest in the stock market, and you're going to be fine, right? We know it's not working, right? And this is where we are today and why we do what we do. So I'm going to share my screen, and you guys should be able to see it. Those of you who are on Zoom will be able to see my screen. And we're going to share some basic financial concept, right? So who are we? Our company is called World Financial Group. And what we do is we are building a new industry in the financial industry, because Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, Wachovia, and all of these amazing financial institutions, they're not going to do what we're doing. And we know this. We see a need, right? So what we do is we teach financial education, because it's ironic that we live in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, but we still have money problems. I mean, I am inundated with people asking me for different costs to contribute. Many of you know I'm from Guyana. Last night I was watching a video one of my girlfriend made in Guyana, pretty much begging for money for people living with HIV and AIDS in Guyana. Today, I got another text message, of the hospital being in such a deplorable state. And of course, they need money to fund that project. So when people say money is not everything, it sure is everything when you do not have it. Because if you have money, you can fund some of these projects, whether you know the people or not, right? But it's not just Guyana, it's everywhere. And what we've come to learn is there's two types of families, guys. You have family A, which is middle America, about 95% of us. This is how it looks for us. We have a retirement crisis. The accounts that they're telling us to save our money in for retirement is not all the way 100% bulletproof. So what we're finding is as we get to age 65, 66, 67, we do not have enough money, right? So there's a retirement crisis. We also have an education crisis. And I see this firsthand. Every year I poll my students and I said, how many of you, right? How many of you took out a student loan, or how many of you are on a scholarship, or how many of you, your parents paid to have you sitting in my classroom? 90% of them are on student loan. So year one, they are already in debt and they haven't even gotten into like their halfway of their semester. So we have an education crisis because we're not saving enough for education. And on top of it, the vehicles that some of us are saving in is not the best, right? So now we have an education crisis. Our kids, even though we're doing everything we can possibly with the limited information we have, they're still graduating with huge student loan the size of a mortgage. And then y'all already know we are spending galore. We love to spend. We're always spending. We're a society of spenders. We say we don't have money to save, but we sure finding that $20 to spend, right? So we have a spending crisis. And so with all three of these things, debt now is sucking us. Debt has become a way of living. And now we're trapped in that cycle of just working to pay the bills. But what about family B? Listen, I don't know about you guys, but everybody needs to be on family B, or at least strive to be family B. Because you know what? Family B runs the world. Family B is that 5% that makes all the decision when it comes to money. They have better money habits. They can buy stuff. Like, listen, everybody should aspire to be in family B. Whether you get there, that's another thing, but we should aspire. So what does that look like? Right? Family B, the same money, what they're going to do first is they're going to pay themselves first, not spend, but pay themselves first. And I remember many, many years ago when I was unemployed, even on my unemployment measly check, I was still putting away $20 because I had this in me that, Odetta, you got to save, right? You have to put money aside for rainy days, as we like to say, right? So the one thing they do is that they're paying themselves first, right? And on top of it, because they have the education, financial education, they know where to save for their retirements. They're not using the retirement account that you and I are using. No, they're not. You think Bill Gates has a 401k? Hell to the no, right? You think Susie Orman has a 401k? Hell to the no. So they know where to save for their retirement. On top of it, whether we want to believe it or not, they want their kids to have an education. Now, if the kids decide to go to college or not, that's a whole different story, but they're making provision to make sure money is there for education. Some of us, our parents, you know, we just got to figure it out. Some of us, I've heard parents said to me, you know what? I'm doing the best I can, putting a roof over their head and feeding them. They'll figure it out. And I was one of those. As much as my parents loved me, I had to figure it out, right? So the next thing that they do, family B, is they understand proper protection. When they buy life insurance, they are not buying life insurance with debt in mind. They are buying life insurance with a different set of lens. They are buying life insurance for wealth protection. They are buying life insurance for wealth generation. They are buying life insurance to protect everything they own. So if anybody sues them, they cannot come after what they own. So they buy life insurance, or they proper protect with a different mindset than family A. Family A don't even want to think about life insurance. They're like, you know what? Whenever I die, they'll figure it out. How irresponsible. Or if they do buy life insurance because they're not educated, they're buying the smallest property, the smallest policy just for burial. Total different mindset, right? So even for me, you know, like I didn't know these things 3 years ago. And this is why now that we know, we are on a massive campaign for financial education, because when you understand these things, you know, you got to pay yourself first. You know, you got to save in specific types of accounts for your retirement. So your money is actually sitting there waiting for you when you turn 65, and you ain't got to worry about the stock market. You ain't got to worry about the government, but it's there. I shared on Facebook yesterday, GE, a big company like GE put a freeze on 20,000 employees pension. So imagine you worked for GE for the last 30 years. And this was the year, or last year was the year that you said, you know what, I'm ready to retire. Where's your pension? And this is the stuff that they're telling us we should do, right? Get a good job, get a government job, you're going to get your pension, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. But they're not telling us the potential implications down the road when you're actually most vulnerable, because now you're older and you just can't wait to retire. I mean, how many of you right now want to retire? Right now you want to retire. So now that you guys know there's two types of family A and family B, which side do you want to be on? Family B, right? So most people, they don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. And if you do not have this information, you cannot even plan properly. because the information that we were fed is not all the way correct. So my favorite uncle, Albert Einstein, came up with one of the most powerful rules in the financial industry called Rule of 72, compound interest. This blew me away. So what it simply says is take the number 72 and divide it by the interest. Wherever you're putting your money right now, take 72 and divide by the interest. So how does that look? Let's say you have your money anywhere earning 4%. 72 divided by 4 is 18 years. That's a mighty long time. You mean to tell me if I have 10,000 today, it's going to take 18 years before it doubled to 20. Guess what? Most people don't even know this information. They have no idea. And so they're going about their life, saving money in accounts, thinking they're getting a good interest, and they never divided 72 by the interest to know how much money they will have in a certain time. So another 18 years roll around, and now it's 40,000. You mean to tell me you could live in this country, let's say you're here 30 something, 36 years, all you're gonna have is 40,000? This is why people are retiring poor or broke, and they have to go back out to the work field in their 60s and their 70s. They got to do something. I was driving yesterday and I saw this lady walking, picking up bottles. Like bottles she's picking up, plastic bottles, 5 cents, right? We have a retirement crisis. What if you were getting 8%? 72 divided by 8 is 9 years. A lot better, right? Now you don't have to wait 18 years. You're going to wait 9 years for your money to double. So in the same 36 time frame, one person is going to get 40,000, another person is going to get 160,000. What if we're able to get 12%? 72 divided by 12 is 6 years. Guys, now every 6 years, your money is doubling. This was a game changer for me because I'm a saver. But guys, you see, this is why you got to know this information, because you could be a good saver and still be broke. Because I saved a lot of money, but because the interest was 1%, I was still gonna be broke when I retire because it's 1%. So how many people you and I know have their money sitting wherever and don't even know this rule? This is why financial education is so important, because you have 3 people saving the same 10,000. One is going to end up with 40, one is going to end up with 160, and one is going to end up with 640,000. Which one do you want, right? And you know why we don't know about this? Because the banks don't want us to know about this. The banks don't want us to know about this, because if we know about this, are we going to put our money there to earn 1%? If we know about this rule, when we get that credit card that's 22% or 12% or 9%, we're going to know to hurry and pay that credit card off. So the banks don't want us to know this. So when people say, oh, Dara, how come I don't know this? Why would they tell us? Why would they educate us? Right? They're not going to educate us, because if they do, they're going to be the one losing money, because we're going to pull our money from the banks and we're going to go put it where we could get a higher interest, right? Or when we get that credit card or any loan, we're going to pay it off before it doubles, right? But as long as we don't know this rule, guess who's making all the money? So why would they tell us? It is not in their best interest to educate us, right? But now that we know these rules, we get paid to educate people about this is just one rule. This is just one. There's so many other financial concepts. This is just one. And just knowing this one rule alone can shift your financial future, right? So the difference between 10,000 at 4% versus 12% is $600,000. So let me go back to the bank again. If we don't know this and the bank is giving us 4% and we think, oh my God, I'm doing great. Who's getting the 600,000? Not you, not me. The bank is going to get that 600,000. So there you have it, my people. When someone says, how come I don't know it? Why should the bank educate us? It's not in their best interest. As long as we don't know, they're making money on your loan, on your credit card, on your car loan, on your mortgage, on every form of loan. As long as we don't know this rule, they're the one making the money. And if we know this rule, we're going to look for accounts that are going to give us higher percentage. But guess what? There are accounts that are giving 4%, 8%, and 12%. Those accounts exist, not because you don't know about it, meaning it doesn't exist. They exist. And this is what we do. We teach families, number one, the education, and we can provide the accounts to show them where they can get 12%, where they can get 15%, right? So knowledge is not power unless it is applied. Let's talk about the second rule to money. Taxes. Nobody is talking about taxes. We don't even want to think about taxes. But if we learn the second rule from my second uncle, Benjamin Franklin, who says nothing is certain in this world except death and tax. And I always tell people, if I'm going to die, I want to die rich, right? But it's not just dying rich, it's dying tax-free rich. Because if you die today and you leave $1 million and that $1 million has to get taxed, your family may not get a lot of money. But if you die today with $1 million, that's tax-free, that's a whole lot of money now your family's going to get, right? $1 million net versus $1 million backing out the tax. So rich people, they know these concepts. This is why a lot of them always go to jail. They don't want to pay tax. They are constantly always looking for tax advantage accounts, because tax advantage means you're literally putting your money where you're going to pay the least amount of taxes legally. So let's talk about tax now. Again, that's 95% of us. We all have a checking account or a savings. Some of us put our money in CD. CD stands for certificate of debt. Never, 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 ever put your money in a CD. In fact, if you have your money in a CD right now, you need to get in touch with me ASAP. Never use a CD, right? Because the interest is so low. You're actually losing money in a CD. And stock and mutual funds. So when you put your money in these type of accounts, guys, you see how the triangle is getting bigger? Guess what? More money you make, more taxes you pay. Simple. More money you make, more taxes you pay. Simple. Let's talk about tax later. With tax later, your 401k, your 403b, your IRA, SEP IRA, annuity pension. First of all, your HR person is not going to tell you this. It is not her business, and she herself does not know this, right? So don't say, oh my God, how come my HR person didn't tell me? My HR person didn't even tell me either. My manager or supervisor, who is friend with me, didn't even tell me either, because she doesn't know her stuff, because she had a 401k. When I first came to this country, she was like, Odetta, I know you like save. Open a 401k and save your money for your future. What? Where's that 401k money now? It been dwindled a long time ago in the stock market, right? So when you have these types of accounts, it is good in one way that we are putting away money for our future. It is good. It's always good putting money away, but we got to put our money away smarter. And these accounts, although they're good, they're better options. So all of these accounts, as you can see, the beginning of the triangle, it's empty. It's not shaded. But towards the end, it is shaded. What this means is you're not paying tax now, today. But my friend, trust and believe, Uncle Sam is coming to get us. And he's going to come to get us. He don't want us now when the money's 100, 200, 300. He don't want the money now. He waiting for when the $100 turn to $500,000 and $250,000 and a big amount. And when it's big, that's when he come in for the tax. How much tax you think he gonna get? A lot or a little? A lot. It's a lot of money, right? Bigger the money, the more taxes you pay. That's it. This is America, right? More money you got, more taxes you pay. That's why they say more money, more problems, right? But you got to know these rules. So what if this, put yourself in the position of a farmer. If you're a farmer, do you want to pay tax on the seed, which is little, or do you want to pay tax on the harvest when your tree or your seed has grown, blossomed, and bearing lots of fruits? If you say you want to pay tax on the harvest, you're going to be paying a lot of tax. And with these type of accounts, this is what it is. We're not making this up. This is how these accounts operate. The government is the one benefiting on these accounts. So they don't want us today when the money is small. They're going to get us when it's a bigger chunk, because a bigger chunk means they get more taxes. Now let's look at where does the 1% and 5% put their money. They're constantly looking for a tax advantage account. And just the word advantage in itself is a dead giveaway. What does advantage mean? Advantage means you have an upper hand. It's positive. It's a good thing, right? So if you put your money in any type of these tax advantage account, as you notice here, the difference is in the beginning of the triangle, it is shaded because you're going to pay tax. But I'd rather pay tax today on that little bitty $100 and not have to worry about paying tax when my $100 grew to $500,000 or $250,000, right? Shout out to you guys, IG. Thanks for joining. So tax advantage is the way to go. But has anyone ever sat down and explained to you these things? Most of us, no. If NYU didn't do it for me, a lot of other colleges and universities are not doing. Listen, even the folks that are studying finance still don't know this, because we have lots of financial degrees, people who, graduated from finance. When they come on board with our company, they never even heard this, and they studied finance. How the hell you study finance and still don't know this? Why would the school educate us on these concepts? Because if we know it, we're going to beat the system. If we know these things, we're going to pay off our student loan. Or better yet, we're not even going to go into student loan, because we're going to know where to put that money for college when our kids are older. We're going to know what to do, right? So it's not in their best interest to tell us about these things, guys. So this is why we don't know, right? We don't know it. Awesome. Now let's talk about the third rule of money: investment. Everybody wants to invest and they have no clue how to invest. You hear about Bitcoins today, you hear about this stocks tomorrow, and everybody want to jump on the bandwagon, and they have no clue or the basic knowledge of investment. Well, there's three types of investment. You have options. You could put your money in a fixed account, and as you can see, it's going to grow, but not a lot, right? And it's safe. So why most people trust the bank? Because it is safe, but the line is flat. The interest is low. It's not growing much, right? On top of it, most banks, or all banks, I should say, only insure your money up to $250,000. I know that's not a lot of people problem, but if you're in WFG, at some point, that is going to be your problem. And that's a good problem to have. You do not want to have more than $250,000 in any bank, because FDIC will only insure your money up to $250K. So what happens if something goes south? in the fine print on your bank statement, it tells you only FDIC for 250,000. And even more scary, they don't have to take that 250,000. They don't have to pay back all at once or next week or next month or next year. They can take up to 99 years to pay you back that 250. Isn't that crazy? But most people, that's not their problem because they don't have 250K. But like I said, once you come on board and you're part of our organization, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, that will become a problem, which is a good problem to have. You do not want to have more than 250K in a bank account, right? Now, let's talk about variable. If you Google the word variable, variable mean up, down, up, down, up, down. So, yes, your money can grow, but it is not safe. You could be a millionaire today, and you could be a pauper next 5 years. Who wants that? I want to know I'm rich and I stay rich and my money is growing. I don't want to know I'm rich today and maybe there's a possibility that next month, next year, or whatever, I could lose money. I don't want that, right? So with variable, this is what's going to happen. We saw it in 2008. We saw it in 2020, just last year. We saw it in 2001, where people had huge lump sum of money. And those particular years, the market was devastated. People saw their portfolio went down from 1 million to 400,000 in a matter of hours, days, gone. That's variable, right? Your money can grow, but it is not safe. Something happened in China, something happened in Dubai, something happened in the US, the market go crazy, people start moving things around, your investment going down. And then there's index account, which nobody knows. And this is why we are killing the game. This is why our company is helping thousands of families, because nobody knows about index account. Index accounts are only offered by life insurance companies, and not every life insurance either. Not every life insurance company offers an index. With index, your money is safe and your money is growing. It is safe and it's growing. So you don't have to worry about losing a penny. You don't have to worry if the stock market crash, if Japan is at war with Dubai, if Mexico is at war with Europe. We don't care. We do not care what the world is going through. Our money is safe and our money is growing. And that's the power of index, right? Variable, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. It's like your high blood pressure is going up, down. You don't know what's going on. An index, you're safe, you're growing. You're safe and you're growing. The market go down, you lock in your gains, you're safe. The market go back up, you go up, right? So how would you like to grow your money? Now that you know these things, how do you want to grow your money? So what our company does is we provide financial education, because we believe that your money and your future should be in your hand, not the government, not GE or Costco or whichever job you work for. Your future should be in your hand. You should control your future. You want to make sure wherever you're saving your money or investing your money today, it has these 4 boxes. Your money is growing, your money is safe, your money is tax advantage, because tax advantage means more free money, right? More money. And you also want to make sure that you're protected. What are we protecting? We're protecting our life. God forbid if we pass away prematurely. We're protecting our health. What if we get sick and cannot work, right? And of course, we're protecting our money, right? So you can learn how to increase your cash flow, how to save for your college, how to save your emergency fund, understanding all the different types of life insurance and protection, how to build your wealth, because so many people have these accounts, but they truly do not understand the pros and cons of these accounts. And sad to say, as we like to say in Guyanese, what they don't hear, they're going to feel, because they sure going to feel it when they're 59 and a half and upwards. They going to feel it then, and they think they're doing good today, right? And then understanding how to preserve it. People who got money or who got asset, they want to preserve it. They just don't want to just die today and in 5 years down the road, their family are broke. No, that's some next level education. You want to preserve it to make sure that it stays in your family bloodline, right? So when you become a member, you can learn about money. You can learn these different concepts so you know what to do. Maybe you're single right now and you don't need to think about preserving wealth. You don't really need to think about building wealth. Maybe you just want to make a couple $1,000s and start saving for your future. Maybe save your emergency fund. All along the way, right? All along the way, you're going to get this support and the financial education, because this money thing is not a one-time deal. Our entire life, we're going to be dealing with money, entire life. And then once we're done and gone, we want to make sure that our kids' are going to be good, right? So please take advantage of setting up a free personal financial needs analysis. I've never had one done prior to starting WFG. I never sat with a financial who look at my numbers and average what I need to do. Here, you can get that. So get in touch with the person who invited you. For those of you that are watching us live on social media, get in touch with the person, right? If it's me or whoever shared this video with you, get in touch to at least know what's going on with your finance so we could put a plan in place for your future. We also have workshops, right? Workshops. So when you become a member, you can attend all of these workshops. And don't worry, it's virtual. You can be in your pajamas. You could be at home. We don't see you. You see us, right? Every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Everybody is home, hopefully, unless you're working the night shift. But most people are home Wednesday night, 9 p.m. It's COVID, okay? The bars are closing early. Everything is closing early, but it's a midweek. So you can attend these workshops 9 p.m. Wednesday, and they rotate, right? So if you miss one, we started last night, increased cash flow and debt management. Next Wednesday, we're going to talk about how to build a solid financial foundation and preparing for proper protection. So every Wednesday, it's going to recycle. So if you miss one Wednesday, don't worry, log in again next Wednesday, right? And these are all things that everybody needs. Listen, if I knew this, I would have been a lot further ahead. Well, ask yourself, if you guys knew so far what I've shared with you, you had this knowledge 5-10 years ago, do you think your financial future would have been a lot better? Yeah. Just knowing the rule of 72 alone would have made me or made us pay off that loan before it doubles. Just knowing that alone, we wouldn't know, oh shit, I got to put my money where I'm going to get a higher interest. Just knowing those three concepts alone, applying it to your finance, you would have been a lot better, right? So why are we doing this? Because timing is everything, right? There's about 78 million people born during World War II. Consider themselves baby boomers, right? That's between the year 1946 to 1964. And anything that they touch, from Gerber Food, Toys Mattel, McDonald's, these are companies that capitalize on the baby boomers. And guess what? We're in an era right now where these baby boomers are going out. They're retiring. They've accumulated all this wealth. And because they don't have financial education, one, unfortunately, they're going to pass it down to their heirs who also have no financial education. So we are positioned at the right timing, because now we can help these baby boomers, one, understand how to protect what they have, And ultimately, they're going to pass it down to their kids and grandkids, how to also make sure that that transition is done correctly. Because the average financial professional is 55. They're done. They're on their way out. They're almost ready to retire. They had enough of this stuff. But even if they still were working for another 4 to 5 years, the financial concept, the financial products that are here today are not the same that was 30, 40, 50 years ago. So even if they were to stay in the game, it's different. It's different information. It's different products, right? Technology is different, right? So because there's going to be a shortfall of about 200,000 professionals by the year 2030, every one of us that are on this Zoom or watching us on social media, we are literally positioning ourselves to help these people 2030. But in fact, you're really going to be helping them from right now, right? We're in 2021 right now, right? So who are we? Our parent company, oops, going too fast. Let's go back. Okay, our parent company is called Aegon. And if you Google Aegon, my friends, Aegon is one of the largest financial institution in the world. Not US, not Canada, not New York, not Puerto Rico, but the world, right? They sit on a list of 9 companies listed as too big to fail. They have enough reserve, okay? They have so much reserve that they could never go yonder. That's a good problem to have. It's like you got so much shit going on in your life that even if somebody try to come at you, you got so much more that they can't take you down. Aegon, right? And like every major company, they wanted to make a presence in the capital of the world, America. And they bought Transamerica. Transamerica is based in San Francisco. As you guys can see there, that iconic building is the Transamerica building. And WFG is the marketing arm. So think of WFG as Amazon for the financial industry. We can go on Amazon and buy anything under the sun. When you come to World Financial Group, you could pretty much get anything when it comes to your personal finance, right? So who are we? Let's talk numbers. Let's talk numbers. There's actually 50,000. These numbers that you're seeing doesn't calculate 2020. 2020, thanks to COVID, has been a record-breaking year for WFG. So now we're over 50,000 licensed agents. Thanks to COVID, people lost their job. They realized, oh my God, I need to like get something else going because I'm home for all these months, right? People got sick. People weren't saving, people died, and that made them realize, holy shit, I gotta get life insurance. So 2020 was a record-breaking year, and it never fails the company. In adversity, we thrive. We're built for adversities, right? So 50,000 licensed agents. We only work with A standard providers, right? 4.6 million family help. And I thought this was a lot. We still got so much more people to help because in New York City alone, we have 9 million people. So it just goes to show that so many people don't know about this information. So many people need help, right? And then we work with 77 providers. So those 77 providers are A-rated, right? These are some of the companies: Franklin Templeton, Transamerica, Everest. Everest is one of the top funeral concierge. When somebody died, you make that 800 call and they got you covered. They're doing everything from finding the funeral home, picking out the casket, going with your budget. Like they do everything. And most of us, we don't want to deal with those things when our loved one passed away, right? So give it to them, let them do their job 24/7. If you're from Guyana like me, you go to Dubai and you die in Dubai, my mom doesn't have to get on a plane and bring my body back to America. Everest will take care of that, right? AMS Financial Solutions, Prudential, Pacific, all of these are top-rated company, 100 years old, A-rated. It's a super big deal, right? So we're like the Expedia, we're like the Orbitz, we're like the Travelocity, right? So we can shop all of these companies and find the right type for our clients. Now, let's talk about making money. Because if you follow me on social media, I'm all about stacking these coins. And as a professor, I taught that I was making good money because I was making $100 per hour. And I was like, I'm good. Bitch, you broke. $100, you broke. You broke to WFG standards, right? And if I don't teach, or for 2-3 months, there's no school, that's it, right? Plus, I have to do a lot of work. So let's talk about how many ways we can earn income. Number one, personal income. That's you sitting down with a family, helping them with a policy or helping them with an account and their finance. You doing a personal account for your client. That's the first way you're going to get paid. The second way you could get paid is building an agency, right? You're not only limited to just being by yourself. If you know other people who want to make money, who want to learn about finance, who want to help, and you bring them on board, guess what? Now you have agency income. The third way we get paid is expansion. Guys, you can be any part of the US, right? You could live in New York and you have accounts or you have clients any other part of the US and you could help them. Or you have agents any other part of the country and they're building a team in that city, right? So right now, I think I have teams and license for maybe like 20 different cities, right? That's a big deal because I live in New York and I will probably never go to those states to work those accounts or work those clients or meet with those clients. So you have expansion income. That's the third way we get paid. The fourth way we get paid is bonus. Now, this is strictly only for senior marketing directors. That's the fourth way. And the fifth way, recurring. Listen, even if you only get paid 2 out of these 5 ways, it's a freaking big deal, right? Because the last time I checked, my job was not paying me recurring income for anything, right? But here, all the clients I've helped for the last 3 years, as long as they keep that strategy or that account, every year I'm going to get recurring income or what we call residual income or what we call passive income. So 5 ways. And the best part about this business is when I die, I could pass this down to my kids. I cannot do that teaching. I can't give my teaching job to my child, right? I can't pass down a job to my child, but I can pass down my business to my children or my grandchildren. Amazing. So this opportunity is second to none. You can learn and earn. When I first started, I didn't know anything. But guess what? I still don't know everything, but I know a lot. And while I was learning back then, I was also earning. So let's talk about the compensation. Now, let's say you come on board and at the end of the day, make no mistake, we are educating families how to save and invest their money, not spend. Save and invest their money, not spend. So when you sit with a client and you help them save or invest their money smart, where they're not losing, where they're getting high interest, on average, as an associate, you can make $1,350 if that client lives outside of New York, right? If they live outside of New York, it's 45%. Now, you might live in New York, but if you have clients outside of New York, that's more money, right? And you can work your way all the way up. So the average senior marketing director makes anywhere between 82,000, oops, going too fast. So the average senior marketing director makes anywhere between $82,000 to $1 million. Listen, my parents have been in this country for 40 something years, and they will never, ever make $1 million. My aunts and uncles have been here for like 50, as we like to say in Guyanese term, donkey years. 50, 60, 70 something years. They will never, and they've never made $1 million working their job. They had great careers, but they not make $1 million. Here at WFG, you have the opportunity. The opportunity is there. Every one of us have that opportunity. It just depends on how bad do you want it. Some people don't want to make $1 million, and that's okay, right? But what I can tell you is that you're going to be compensated more than what you're making at your job, right? And for me, this was a big deal because I never thought that I could make $1 million. Never. Even though I had a great corporate career, even though I've been teaching, I never thought that I could make $1 million. But because of this opportunity, not only that I can see making it, I am going to make it. That's a big deal. Because some people can't even dream. They can't even dream of making $1 million because it's so far stretched. But here, you have the opportunity. The platform is there. The environment is there. The products are there. The information is there. It's doable. So you won't be free until you're financially free. Now let's talk about our leadership team. These are all people like you and I that comes from all different backgrounds, great jobs, right? Making money. But you know what we all have in common? We never learned how to grow our money. We made money, but we spent more. And now every one of us are still making money, but now we know what to do with that money. Now we're changing our lives. Now we're changing our kids' life. Now we know that the next grandchild born in this generation is going to be better than us because we know what to do the minute they're born. The minute they're born and they got that social security number, we know exactly what to do. And because we have the information and we have the money, we can make it happen for them. That's powerful. Some people have the money, but they don't have the education. So talk about world-class recognition. You know, some of the events that we used to go to prior to COVID, never would I ever meet E.T. I didn't even know who E.T. was. Never would I ever get to meet Magic Johnson, right? Like these people, you don't meet these people every day, right? You're not in that kind of circle where you'll get invited to go to an event. And if you are, it's going to come with a price attached, right? So it's a super big deal, right? And this is me right here. Oh my God, killing it, being the beast from the East as always. John Maxwell. I don't even know who John Maxwell was. But because of WFG, not only that now I know who he is, I'm listening to him. I'm reading his books. I'm listening to his podcasts. You know, I got to meet him at one of our conventions. Same thing with Damon John, right? So it's one thing watching these people on YouTube, but when you're in a room with them, in a small intimate setting, and they're pouring into you, it's a total different experience. So you are a product of your environment. This is so true. If you hang around people who are broke, my friend, you're going to be broke because the whole conversation is just brokenness, right? Or if you're hanging around people who are at a higher frequency level, who are going places, who are studying, they're reading, they're talking about business, they're talking about self-development, they're like, come on. It automatically will make you rise because before you know it, they're not going to be talking to you. If all you're talking is about garbage and they're talking about how to make money how to be better by the year 2021, and you're not contributing to that conversation, you're not going to be in their environment. So I challenge every one of us to put ourselves in a winning environment, put ourselves in an environment where people are at a higher frequency level. They're going places, their mindset is different, they're learning every day, right? And this is what WFG does for us. We are learning every day. We are inundated with workshops and trainings and seminars. We have access to multi-millionaires and billionaires. Oh my God, like where would I be without WFG? Like which billionaire would I know? Which billionaire would I know that will invite me to their ranch? Like where? Like who's going to be that connection for me, right? So it's a super big deal, right? So life is all about choices. Everything that we've done in the past is what has us where we are today. Everything, whether we know it or realize it or not. But I promise you, what your future holds next year or the following year is based on the decisions you're going to make today. So what would your future look like? Think about it. 5 years from now, if you keep doing exactly what you're doing today, what would your future look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? I don't know about y'all, my future is really bright thanks to WFG. It is extremely bright because of WFG. Prior to that, I probably don't want to look at the future because it's not promising, right? Yeah, I would have been having a couple of money in the bank and going to my teaching job or whatever, but because I didn't know this information, it can be the best, right? So what would your future look like? One, there's a couple of options. You have choices, guys, right? You have choices. You can decide, I want to learn how money works, get a free financial assessment, probably look into a part-time income. What do I have to lose? Nothing, right? You could decide you want to build a future, start part-time, right? Build your future working from home where you get to create your own schedule with unlimited income. And because it's a business, you're going to get tax benefits and become something big. For Bill Gates says, and really, I don't like Bill Gates, but this is one thing he said that's correct. If you're born poor, it is not our mistake. But if you die poor, it is your mistake, especially if you've been on this webinar, you've seen this information. And for some of y'all need to hear this a couple of times. So come back again next Thursday. We're going to be here every Thursday, 7 p.m. If you've gotten value in this, one, you yourself get in touch with the person who invited you, and two, bring somebody else along next Thursday, right? So with that being said, I'm going to close it off by launching a poll, right? And tell us what you think. I mean, the poll is really simple. What are you interested in? How can we help you, right? 2 questions. I'm interested in interviewing for a part-time opportunity with WFG, or 2, I'd like to become a member. I want to learn more about finance. I want to attend these workshops. I want to learn. I just want to learn. For me, when I started, I just wanted to learn. Just teach me so I know what to do with my money. Worst case scenario, you're going to learn what's going on with your finances, right? So those are the 2 options. So click on the poll. Those of you who are already members of our organizations, do not click on the poll. This is just for guests, right? Click on the poll and let us know how we can help you. And most importantly, like I said, get in touch with the person who invited you. This is your opportunity and your shot at changing your life. All it takes is a decision and a commitment. And like I always tell my team, some of us are going to go slow and some of us are going to go fast. It's okay. Just keep moving. Just keep going. Just go. Do not stand still. So the first step I would say is everybody needs to make sure that they're getting a financial assessment to know what's going on. And if you cannot afford it, then you need to make more money. You need to make more money. That's how we're really going to change our life and change other people's life in the process. We need to make more money. It is so sad that we have a retirement crisis because we don't have enough. It is so sad that our kids are graduating with student loan because we never saved enough, or we saved in the wrong vehicle. So make a decision today. If nothing else, start as a campaigner where you're going to learn and you're going to understand what's going on with your money. And for those of you who are entrepreneurial, for those of you who want to work from home, for those of you who want to control your future, give yourself a raise. I don't care if my teaching job, there's no semester, there's not enough student enroll. I don't care. I really don't. That's the freedom you have when you are in control of your future, right? So put yourself in a position to have another source of income. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining. It's been a pleasure. Love, love, love this campaign. If I invited you, make sure you get in touch with me, and we will see you back here next Thursday. Like I said, we're here every Thursday at 7 p.m. And then every Wednesday, we have our free financial workshop. So get in touch with the person who invited you, and they're going to provide you with the links. Thank you guys so much, and make it a great evening.